Swansea City have had a rough 5 years of football. Since they got relegated in 2018, they've been stuck in the Championship, where this season they finished 10th in the league. And you know what's mental? I've never actually used Swansea City on career mode. But today that is going to change, because I'm becoming the new manager of Swansea City, and by the end of this video I'll be making them the best team in the world. So this is the team I've loaded into, and on paper I'd say this is one of the stronger teams in the Championship. They do have a couple of standout players like captain Matt Grimes, fullback Ryan Manning, and striker Joel Perreault. And right now they've got only one player currently on loan to them, and that's a bloody good sign for any new manager. But on the flip side, this team is a little bit of a mess. As far as I can tell, we've got no right wingers or right backs in the squad. And our goalkeeper Fish is by a mile the weakest part of this team, but if we are serious about getting promotion this year, he needs to be one of the strongest. But after taking everything into consideration, this Swansea City team actually isn't that bad at all. And our starting budget is pretty healthy for the Championship, 12 million to spend in our first season in charge. Now it's just a case of where I've got to put that money. And obviously I'm pouring money into that goalkeeper position. If you have a good goalkeeper in between the sticks, you've got a good chance of doing well in any league. Then I'll try to bring in a new right back and a brand new winger too. After that, I will look to change this formation, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm changing it to just yet. But what I will tell you is our new goalkeeper is going to be Plymouth Argyle's Michael Cooper. He's 22 years old, 71 overall. And we have indeed secured our very first signing in charge of Swansea City, bringing Michael Cooper to the team for 3.45 million. And with Cooper now in the team, we just need to bring in a new right back and a new right winger, and I know just the players to bring in. Starting with the right winger, I'm going for Stoke City's Tyrese Campbell. He's 70 overall and 22 years old. He's currently a striker right now, but we can easily convert him to a winger. And for only 2.1 million, we have secured Tyrese Campbell on a 4-year contract. And as you can see, it'll only take 5 weeks to convert him to a right winger, so we've got no issues with this in the slightest. And as for who our right back's going to be, I'm stealing Bournemouth's Ryan Fredericks from them. 29 years old, 74 overall. He will be a massive improvement for our defensive lineup. And we are indeed ending the transfer window with the signing of Ryan Fredericks for 3.1 million. And Campbell's training for a winger is completely finished, and he's going to turn into a 70 overall winger. Why did I expect him to go up an overall? But with all that done and dusted, this is the Swansea City team going into season 1. And as you can see, we have switched to the 4-3-3 holding. That's because we've got no central attacking midfielder, so it's pointless rocking a 4-2-3-1. And obviously our defense is the weakest link of this team, but it's also the youngest part of the team as well. Nathan Wood, Harry Darling, and my mate Joel are all 22 years old or under, so they've got plenty of time to develop as players, which is why I've left the centre-back position alone. Now obviously in real life, Swansea City last year finished 10th in the Championship, but looking at this team, I think it's capable of far more than that. I reckon this year we push for promotion, not automatic promotion, we go for the playoffs. And you ain't going to believe this, boys, we're 3rd in the league at the end of this season, only 1 point behind bloody Middlesbrough, for God's sake. But we are in the playoffs alongside Norwich, Watford and Southampton, so there's still a good possibility that we can get promotion. But that's not going to happen either, as we've been knocked out in the semis by Southampton 4-2 on aggregate. I can't lie, that's a little bit gut-wrenching. But we did make it to round 5 of the FA Cup, only getting knocked out by Villa 3-2. But looking at this team, a couple of really solid signings in season 2, we're definitely up for promotion once again. And everybody was getting on the score sheet this year, with Joel Perreault getting 21 and 11, 19 and 13 for Jamie Patterson, 14 and 3 for Tyrese Campbell, and 13 and 5 for Oliver Nitchem. I've definitely butchered this guy's name. I don't even know how you'd begin to pronouncing that name properly. But the good news is I wanted playoffs this season, and we very nearly got automatic promotion. 1 point separated us from the Premier League this year. But like I said, a couple of really solid signings for next year, and hopefully we surpass the playoffs and go straight up automatically. But before we go any further, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We're now into season 2 with Swansea City after a pretty successful first season with them. But having looked at the team, there's only a couple of areas we need to improve if we want to get promotion this year. We now need a better midfielder than Fulton. He's 71 overall and the weakest part of our starting 11. And we need a better winger than Jamie Patterson. He's 31 years old at 72 overall, and we know how EA works. Once you hit 31 years old, you start to dwindle in overall. But having looked at the squad depth, we don't need a new winger because we've got Oliver Cooper, who's 23 years old, 72 overall as well. If we give him a better contract and make him a crucial player, he'll get game time ahead of Patterson. And with Cooper now in the starting 11, we just need a better midfielder than Fulton. If we do have any money left over, we'll have another look at the team and see where we can further improve it. And this year, our budget's increased a little bit to 15 million to spend in season 2. But we won't have any money left over for a second transfer once Kanya Fujimoto joins the squad at 24 years old and already 76 overall. He will massively improve our squad. And for 10 million on the dot, we have secured our first signing in Fujimoto. And after that signing and renewing everybody's contracts, we've literally only got £1,000 left in our budget, so that's our transfer window done. Which leaves our team looking like this heading into our second season in the Championship. And as you can see, we have gone for a 4-3-3 flat. This is because we've got no cams or CDMs in the starting 11. But what we do have now is a very solid midfield, a very good attack, and a pretty decent backline and goalkeeper. So I think we've got a very good shot of doing well this year. Last season, we were 1 point from automatic promotion. I think this year, with this new and improved Swansea City team, we're definitely getting automatic promotion. Well, we've just arrived in June, boys, and we've smashed it. We are going up as champions after finishing first in the Championship. Only 4 games lost from 46 and 110 points as well. That's pretty damn impressive. And we once again made it to round 5 of the FA Cup and we're getting knocked out to Chelsea. I'll be real though, looking at this team, I don't think we've got any issues surviving the Prem next year. And these stats are bloody amazing. 28-5 for Joel Perot, 21-9 for Tyrese Campbell, 17-13 for Kanya Fujimoto, 12-8 for Oliver Nitcham, and 12-9 for Jamie Patterson. So far, we've done pretty well with Swansea. A playoff position in our first season, and we won the Championship in our second season. You know where to find me if you're a board of director at Swansea City. But that was the easy part. The tough part, in my opinion, is entering the toughest league in the world, the Premier League, and doing pretty damn well in it for our first season. We're now into our third season with Swansea City, and our first season back in the Premier League with them. But I don't want to just survive the Premier League, I want to thrive in it for our first season back. And looking at the team, there's only a couple of areas we need to focus on in order to make that happen. Firstly, we need a better centre-back than Wood. I think for the Championship, he's absolutely brilliant, but right now we do need a better centre-back. And we need a better winger than Cooper. He's 74 overall, and alongside Cooper, he is by a mile the weakest part of the team. Once we sort those positions out, I think we're going to get a pretty comfortable finish in the Prem. And the board have really given us a healthy budget to work with. 65 million to spend in our first season back in the Prem. And don't worry, I realise I've not brought any Welsh players into the team, which is why I'm bringing Brennan Johnson into this Swansea City side. He's 23 years old, 79 overall, a massive improvement to our front three. And for 25.5 million, we have signed Brennan Johnson on a 5-year deal. And for that centre-back role, I brought in another Welsh player in Ethan Ampadu, who's 23 years old, 77 overall, and he cost 15.1 million. Now, we've still got 16 million left to spend. And as you can see, we've improved every position I wanted to initially improve. But with 16 million left to spend, I'd be daft not to try and improve the team even further. So for that reason, I'm bringing in a better midfielder than either Nitcham or Grimes. And believe me, I found the midfielder for the job, Gustavo Hamer from Everton. He's 27 years old and 77 overall. And we are wrapping our transfer window up by bringing Gustavo Hamer to Swansea City for 12.5 million. And now the team looks like this headed into our first season in the Prem. And honestly, this does not look like a newly promoted team. This already looks like an established Premier League side. And with that being said, I don't want to be anywhere near that relegation zone. I want to be 13th, 12th, or maybe even 11th. Well, we've just arrived in June and we were lucky in the end, 16th in the league at the end of this season. I mean, we were a solid 6 points above the drop zone, but I definitely thought we'd have done better than that. And looking at the team, you'd have definitely assumed we could have done better than that as well. And truth be told, there was only a couple of players doing the heavy lifting this year. Brennan Johnson with 12 goals and 27 goals and 3 assists for Joel Perot. In all honesty, for a newly promoted side, 16th in the league isn't bad at all. And on top of that, it's a pretty decent stepping stone because next year we definitely need to get a better finish than 16th. We're now into our 4th season in charge of Swansea City, and looking at the team, there's a couple of areas we do need to improve. The first one being our midfielder, Grimes, 75 overall. He might be our captain, but he's the weakest part of the side. Then obviously it's our defence, but we certainly need to work on this midfield first. But this time our budget's decreased to 42 million in season 4. I mean, we did finish 16th after all, it was bound to happen. But for that midfield role, I'm once again stealing a Nottingham Forest player in Aurel Mangala, who's 27 years old, 81 overall. And because he only had 12 months left on his contract, he only cost us 18 million on the dot. Now we've still got 21 million left to spend. And obviously with Mangala into the team, it's now time to focus on the defence. Now obviously Fredericks is the weak link. He's 77 overall and 32 years old, but I do have a plan for this position, so he's staying for one more season. Which means I'm bringing a better centre-back in for Cabango, and I know just the player to bring in. I'm going for West Ham United's Victor Lindelof. He's 80 overall, 30 years old. He knows the Premier League like the back of his hand, and he's just what we need in our team. And for just 16 million on the dot, we have signed Victor Lindelof on a 3-year contract. And with that, our transfer window's done, and this is the Swansea City team going into season 4. And overall, the team's really solid. The defence does need a little bit of work, but aside from that, it's golden. And obviously last year, we finished way lower than I anticipated, but this year with this team, I'm definitely expecting expecting to finish where I thought we would last year. Well, we've reached the end of yet another campaign and we're 9th in the league at the end of this season. We've done amazing this year. I mean, we didn't finish above the bottle jobs, but I'll take 9th place all day long. Man, look at this team. I think we just need to sort this defense out and we're in contention for European football. And I'll give you 3 guesses who our top goal scorer was. Joel Perreault, 20 goals and 4 assists for him, 12 and 3 for Tyrese Campbell, 8 and 3 for Brennan Johnson, and 5 and 6 for Fujimoto. I'll be real, we overachieved this year. I definitely expected us to only finish 12th or 11th at best, but 9th in the league, I will definitely take that. But like I said, we sort our defense out and we're in contention for European football for the following season. We're now into season 5 with Swansea City, and looking at the team, there's only one area of this pitch we need to focus on. It's obviously our defense, but first we need a better right back more than anything. And after last year's performance, the board have backed us massively with 69 million to spend this year. And if you remember, I said I got a plan for that position, and this is my plan. Neco Williams from Brentford, 25 years old, 82 overall. He's been my plan since day one. And for 37.3 million, we have secured Neco Williams on a 5-year contract. And after his signing, we still have 28 million to spend. Now it's a case of whether to bring in a new left back or a centre back. Now Ethan Ampadu's younger and better than Manning, so it's a no-brainer to just bring in a new fullback. And believe me boys, I found a suitable replacement. Tobias Fisher from Aston Villa, who's already 80 overall at 18 years old. I can't think of anybody better than this guy to go into that position. And we are closing our transfer window by bringing in Tobias Fisher for 20.4 million. And now the team looks like this heading into our 5th season with Swansea City. It's just Ethan Ampadu that's letting the team down, but I've got a feeling he'll improve to 80 overall by the end of the year. Now last year we finished 9th in the league with a far weaker defence. With the defence that we've got now, I'm definitely expecting us to get a European finish. Well, we've just arrived in January and we were so close to that top 6. We're 7th in the league at the end of this season. If we would have won one more game, we'd have been inside the top 6. Now obviously finishing 7th, I'm pretty sure that gets us Conference League football, but we're going to have to wait till next year to find out. Just look at this team, man. Everybody's happy, everybody's improving. Life's good at Swansea City. Joel Perreault is just on another level. 28 and 4 for him, 9 and 11 for Fujimoto, 9 and 9 for Brennan Johnson, 8 and 3 for Tyrese Campbell as well. Now our targets this year were to get a European position, and I'm almost certain 7th in the league gets us Conference League football. But even if we haven't qualified, at least we can say we improved on last year's position. But next season, I don't want to leave it to chance. I want top 4 football for Swansea City. We're now entering season 6 with this Swansea City side, and looking at the team, there's only 2 positions I want to focus on. Gustavo Hamer has been a pretty solid player for us, but we do need a better midfielder than him right now. And we need a better centre-back than Ampadu, and just like Hamer, he has been a solid player for us, but we do need to improve that position. Like I said, I don't want to take any chances. I want top 4 football this year, and this is what we need to do to get it. And the board are really backing us now. 86 million to spend this year. And starting with our centre-back, I'm going for Maxence Lacroix from Brentford. He's 27 years old, 84 overall, and for any of you guys that play Ultimate Team, you know how rapid this guy actually is. And for 39 million on the dot, he is now a Swansea City player. And going into our midfield is PSV's Joey Veerman. He's 28 years old, 83 overall as well. And we're wrapping our transfer window up by signing Joey Veerman for 35.5 million. And now the team looks like this going into season 6. And all we need is a better centre-back than Lindelof, and this team I think is genuinely ready for the Champions League. And honestly, my expectations are through the roof. I want top 4 football this year, and if we're in the Conference League, I definitely want to win that competition. And we are indeed in the Conference League after all. We're in Group B alongside FC20, Let Poznan and Brøndby IF. And like I've just said, high expectations, top 4 football, and I want to win this competition with flying colours. And boys, we've just arrived in June and we've smashed it. We're 4th in the league at the end of this season, so no matter what next year, we are in Europe once again. Now it's just a question of how we've done in the Conference League. So as I expected, we've absolutely smashed the group stage and we go to the round of 16. And we absolutely dismantle Bodo Glimt 5-0 on aggregate. This is a good start. We then beat AC Milan 4-2 on aggregate in the quarters. We then beat Copenhagen 4-2 on aggregate in the semis. Boys, we could have actually won this. And we've beaten Lille 2-0 in the Conference League final. That's our first European trophy in the cabinet. And we've done this with a 78 overall Lindelof. At least we know where to improve the team next year now. And our front 3 really got stuck in this year. 31 and 9 for Joel Perreault, 24 and 8 for Brennan Johnson, and 14 and 3 for Tyrese Campbell. I'm loving this Swansea City team. Every season with them has just surpassed the last. And next year we'll either be in the Europa League or the Champions League, but quite frankly, I'm happy to be in Europe with this Swansea City team. We're now into season 7 with the Swansea City side, and it's obvious where it needs improving. We need a new centre-back in place of Victor Lindelof. He's coming to the end of his career now, and he's the weakest link in the team. And I know I said a couple of areas of the team needs improvement, but realistically, we only need a centre-back. Once we've sorted that out, we'll revisit the team and see where we can further improve it. And boys, we've got our highest budget yet, 147 million to spend. And for that centre-back position, you better believe we're spending big with Benoit Badiashile, 27 years old, 85 overall, and 6'4". This guy will be a nightmare to get past. And I think we got a fantastic deal, only having to spend 52.5 million on him. And we've still got 87 million to spend, so whatever position we decide to improve on, we are spending big on that role. Now, there's 4 positions we could improve: our right back, our left back, our centre mid, and our left winger. Now, I personally don't want to bring in a winger. Tyrese Campbell has been with us for a long time, and I want him to be in that starting 11 when we reach the Champions League final. And Fisher's still only 20 years old, so he's going nowhere. So that just leaves our centre midfielder Veerman and our right back Neco Williams. And I've decided to go for a better midfielder because Veerman's older and he's got less potential than Neco Williams has got. And boys, I told you I was going to spend big, as we're bringing Kouadio Manu Kone to Swansea City, 27 years old and 86 overall. And he is by a mile our most expensive signing yet, as we've just spent 75.9 million to bring him to Swansea City on a 4-year contract. And with that, our transfer window's done, and this is the Swansea City team going into season 7. And I'll be real, I'm expecting a lot from this Swansea City side this year. I want to win either the Carabao or the FA Cup. I want to win the Premier League, and I definitely want to win whatever European competition we've got into. And boys, we skip straight over the Europa League, and we are in the Champions League. We're in Group H alongside Borussia Dortmund, Roma, and Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that's basically the group of death, but I want to make a statement. I want to top the group of death. Well, we've just arrived in January, and in the Premier League, it's not looking good. We're only 6th in the league halfway through the season. But having said that, there's only 7 points separating ourselves from first place Chelsea, so technically we are in a title race. And whilst we haven't topped Group H, we have still made it to the round of 16 pretty comfortably. And our front three really are next level: 18-5 for Perot, 16-4 for Brennan Johnson, and 10-2 for Tyrese Campbell. And I did everything I wanted to do in the first transfer window, so this is the Swansea City team going into the knockouts of the Champions League for the first time. And I think we've got a very good shot at winning it in our first season in it, if I'm being honest. There's nothing but quality in our starting 11. Granted, our subs bench is our biggest weakness, but realistically, that only depends on if we get suspensions and injuries. But to be fair, it all depends on who we get drawn up against. And boys, believe me, we're up against it first: Barcelona in the round of 16, and that team is absolutely filthy. I'm not looking forward to this one, I ain't gonna lie. Let's see how we get on in the first. Wow! Fujimoto, he's my new favourite player. It's a good position to be in the second leg. 2-0 up against Barca. I'd definitely take it. I'll take a good second win as well. Oh, do you know what? A draw will definitely do the job as well. We're 3-1 up on aggregate. We've knocked Barcelona out, and we're going to the quarters. Boys, we go from one extreme to the other. Real Madrid next up in the quarterfinals, and that team's even freaking more disgusting than the Barcelona one. Then again, that defense is pretty shaky, so hopefully our front three can demolish them. Oh, wow. We have actually demolished them. Badiashile, Manu Kone, and Tyrese. Boys, could we actually do this in the first season of trying? We again go into the second leg with a healthy lead. A couple of our players are fatigued, but I think the aggregate on our side will go in our favour. We've lost 1-0, 86 minutes for Bellingham, but it does not matter. We've knocked out Barcelona and Real Madrid, and we're going to the semis. And the last team to face before we get to the final is Borussia Dortmund. Now, every time we come up against these guys lately, we do tend to do quite well against them, so I'm hoping it will be exactly the same. Whoa, no, don't do this to me. Don't frigging do this to me. I don't think I've ever been knocked out of the Champions League by Dortmund before. I really hope this isn't going to be the first time. We've done so well. You are kidding me. Why is it always the semi-frigging final? Sabozala, you absolute cretin. I knew I didn't like you as soon as you joined Liverpool. But that is it for us in the Champions League this year. I just hope we're doing really well in the Prem. Otherwise, we can say bye-bye to the Champions League next season. Well, boys, we've just arrived in June, and thankfully, we finished 3rd in the league at the end of this season. We are once again in the Champions League. Obviously, I did want to win the Premier League, but I'll certainly take a Champions League spot instead. And we have won the Carabao Cup after beating Liverpool 3-2 in the final. So that's one trophy at least that I wanted to win this season. I'm gutted we didn't make the final, man. I don't really know what more we need to do to this starting 11 to get there. And the stats this year are genuinely insane. 44 and 14 for Joel Perreault, 28 and 12 for Brennan Johnson, 23 and 5 for Tyrese Campbell, and 13 and 22 for Kanya Fujimoto. Overall, it's been a good season. Top 4 football, semi-finals in the Champions League, and we won the Carabao Cup. We can't really complain at that. But next year, we have to get to the Champions League final, and I think I know exactly how to get us there. We're now into our 8th season in charge of Swansea City, and looking at that starting 11, there's not really anywhere we need to improve. I'm instead going to focus on our subs bench. We need a backup goalkeeper, a winger, and a new striker as well. Other than the subs bench, I really don't see the need to buy any players into this team. And we've got a lot of money to use this year, 158 million to spend. And starting with the goalkeeper, I'm going for Chelsea's Arnaud Couturier. He's 22 years old and already 85 overall. And I think we got a great deal, only having to spend 57 million for a player of this guy's caliber. And for our second choice striker, I'm going for Pablo Sanz from Leicester City, 23 years old and already 82 overall as well. And once again, we got a really good deal as we only had to spend 32 million on him. And finally for the winger, and this is the big one, Jadon Sancho from Manchester United, 29 years old, 86 overall, and he's got 12 months left on his contract as well. And we are wrapping our transfer up with that as we are signing Jadon Sancho for 49 million on the dot. And now the team looks like they're heading into our 8th season in charge of Swansea City. The starting 11 is insane. The subs bench is riddled with quality as well. I think we're ready for anything this season has to throw at us. Don't get it twisted, I'm gutted I've had to drop Campbell from the starting 11, but there was nobody worse than him on the transfer market, so I had no choice but to buy someone better. And obviously my expectations are sky high. I want the Premier League, I want the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the most important one, I want the Champions League. And speaking of the Champions League, we are in Group D alongside Roma, Shakhtar Donetsk, and OGC Nice. Now last year we only finished second in the group stage. This year I want to make a statement and top the group with flying colours. Well, we just arrived in January and it isn't looking good in the Prem. We're 4th in the league halfway through the season. And not only that, we are 15 points behind Manchester City. They're still unbeaten as well. I don't think we're winning the title this year. But we've topped the group stage undefeated and we cruise to the round of 16. And so far it's a one-man show with Joel Perreault getting 12 goals in 26 games. And there's nothing more I can do to this team to improve it, so this is how it looks going into the knockouts. I am genuinely very impressed with how well we've done with this Swansea team, and we've turned it into an absolute monster. And hopefully this monstrous team can get to the final of the Champions League this time. And we started well by beating Lyon in the round of 16 and beating Barca in the quarters, meaning we are once again in the semi-final. And in that semi-final, we're facing Villarreal. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but it genuinely feels like it's written in the stars that this year we get to the final. We're going to get into this game and hope... Oh, okay. A 2-1 victory in the first leg. We are one game away from that final. We've got the 2-1 advantage. We've got the home advantage. Everything is leading towards us going to the final. The boys just have to prove it on the pitch. Sancho in the 84th minute. Boys, Swansea City are in that final. And we've got a chance of revenge, boys. Dortmund are in the final with us. There's no way I'm letting them beat us twice in 2 seasons. But heading over to the Premier League, we flopped it. 5th in the league at the end of this season. Bloody Leeds finished above us this season. That's how bad we were. And we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup, courtesy of Man United knocking us out. It really hasn't been a good year for us, has it? And I'll give you 3 guesses who our top goal scorer is. Joel Perreault getting 33 goals and 4 assists in 54 games. We have well and truly created an absolute monstrosity of a team, haven't we? Obviously, so far we haven't won the Prem, the FA Cup, but we have won the Carabao Cup and we may be on the verge of winning the Champions League as well. And I'm happy with this team because some of them have been here since day one. Like Joel Perreault, 87 overall. Tyrese Campbell, 88 overall. And of course, our very first signing, Michael Cooper, 90 overall. And you better believe Tyrese Campbell is starting the final. I said before that I wanted him in the final and I'm keeping my word. And I'm going to be playing this game against Dortmund. They knocked us out of the Champions League last year and I want my goddamn revenge on them. He's got the pace. Oh, look at that. He's definitely got the pace. Look at Brennan Johnson go. He's going to find Perreault. Nope. Perreault. It's... Oh, you freaking lucky bastard, Dortmund. Brennan Johnson. Oh, he's powering his... Oh, my God. You don't get much closer than that without scoring. He's looking for that run from Brennan Johnson. Oh, he's done the 1-2 again. Perreault, please. Oh my God, I'm an absolute idiot. Why didn't I just take that by myself? Tyrese Campbell. Oh, that run from Brennan Johnson's perfect. Look at... Oh, Upamecano, piss off. First corner of the game goes to Brennan Johnson to take. Kone, head on that. Oh my days, this keeper's doing my frigging tree in now. Brennan Johnson. Oh, nope. Johnson's in. Oh, Upamecano. I'm going to break your legs, lad. Neco Williams. Cut back. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, nah, there's no way that doesn't go in. There's just no way. There's just no way. We need a goal in this second half. We've had the chances. We need to stop messing around and actually take a chances this time. Oh, Perot's in behind. He hasn't got the pace. He's going to have to take a shot. Oh, no. My God, I'm so done with this game, man. Oh, Brennan Johnson's done his defender there. Oh, he's got... Oh, this is it. Oh, no. Please.
Nope.
Oh, second. No. Why can't we score? Brennan Johnson. All the way, lad. All the way. To me. Oh, no. There ain't no way he's just saved that. How is this game still goalless, man? It's doing my head in at this point. Oh, there ain't no way. Come on. Oh, wait. What's just happened there? Oh my God, that's the most anticlimactic goal I think I've ever scored. But of course it'd be Joel Perot. Oh my God, it was coming at some point. I just didn't realise it would come in that sort of fashion. Brennan Johnson. Oh, he's being chased down by Upamecano, but I think we may have the pace on him. Yes, we've got the pace on him. Brennan Johnson to make this 2-0. Nope. Oh my, I hate Koble. Koble's so good. Oh, this could be it. Tyrese Campbell. Oh, Tyrese Campbell to finish the game. Oh, you bloody donkey. Hit it quicker. That's got to be the last kick of the game, surely. Oh, my God. Thank you. Oh, what a game that was. We've beaten Dortmund, got our revenge, and we are the best team in the world. It's taken us 8 long seasons to do it, but in the end, we bloody did it. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed that, you should definitely click here to watch me rebuild the worst team in Italy.